I tried writing that song tonight. So we got in the car, he and I and our mandolin player, Jeff. We just went around the circle coming up with things she wasn't worth anymore. It's going a little too smoothly. We hit a bit of a wall. It was she ain't worth the rise, she ain't worth the fall. There's a lot of sparkle to that. I said, how about this? How about she ain't worth the climb, she ain't worth the fall. It's no better. How about she ain't worth the heights, she ain't worth the fall. We really like the fall. And I said, how about this? How about she ain't worth the dizzying heights, she ain't worth the fall. And he asked me to be quiet for a while. And we drove around for about 5 miles, and we're in the van. It's late. Said, how about this? How about she ain't worth the vertigo, she ain't worth the fall. And I said, Slade, you know, I don't believe the word vertigo has ever been used in a country song before. It could be one syllable too many. We decided we liked it, even though vertigo and dizzying heights could be the same word. Whatever. That finished our verses, and they invited me out of timeout because it was time for the chorus. And they said, "Well, what are we really trying to say here?" As if the chorus is some kind of mission statement for the entire piece of music. You don't get it now. Here, this is what we're really saying. And what I said was that the guy is deluding himself, that she's worth it every time. The problem with falling in love is that it's a risky business and you could get hurt. So this guy's just using hindsight to kind of convince himself that he made a mistake. He never did. So she ain't worth the whiskey, but she was. But she was, but she was, but she was. And he said, man, that sounds like it's right out of the Wizard of Oz or something. Just because. So we decided to make that the chorus, and they wanted to name the entire song She Ain't Worth the Whiskey, But She Was. And then someone pointed out that was giving a little too much away up front. So this is called She Was. She ain't worth the whiskey, she ain't worth the tears. She ain't worth a borrowed flight, a restless night, her ghost still here. She ain't worth the roses lost among the thorns. She ain't worth the words you'd waste to mend the trust that's torn. She ain't worth the midnight, she ain't worth the dawn. She ain't worth the pedestal that you placed her on. She ain't worth the hotel sheets twisted on the bed. She ain't worth your trembling or the whispers that you said. But she was, in truth you know she was. She was. You're fooling yourself because she was. Now she ain't worth the mystery, she ain't worth the risk. She ain't worth the medicine brushed across your lips. She ain't worth the vertigo, she ain't worth the fall. She ain't worth surrender to the drama of it all. She was, oh, in truth, you know she was. You're fooling yourself because she was. So she was, she She was, you know she was, she was. You fool yourself because she was. Now she ain't worth apologies, she ain't worth the right, the wrong. She ain't worth the melody. Now she ain't worth this song.